Do you ever start a project being inspired and excited about working on it, thinking it will be a fun and passionate journey, just lose that passion somewhere along the way? Like, at some point it just becomes a drag. All the fun tasks get lost somewhere and are replaced with annoying errands or complicated problems that are anything but fun to work on. Yes, part of it is losing that initial spark of inspiration, the only function of which is simply getting you started on that journey. But I think there's a bigger problem that nobody seems to talk about. I will be giving examples from game development since this is what I've been doing my whole life. I think it illustrates that problem best, but I'm sure it is applicable to basically any kind of project. I've been a part of many communities of other game developers, and I talked a lot about their projects and how they get them to release, which they rarely do. And the most common notion about the process of creating a game is that it is fun in the beginning, but then it inevitably becomes hard, annoying, and just not enjoyable. They say that it's just impossible to enjoy making a game all the way through. At some point, you just need to get realistic, fix bugs, get features done in any way possible, just to get it to that point of finished. Main reason here being the way a code base is expanded upon in most cases, especially by not so experienced developers. I like to use a house metaphor for this. Imagine building a house, and when it's 3 stories high, suddenly realizing that it's absolutely critical to have a bathroom in one end of the building and a kitchen sink in the other. All the pipes are already set within the walls, so you need to break other existing walls and make some rooms smaller. But if you planned that from the beginning, you could put less pipes to cover both ends, maybe fitting them in the middle, occupying less space in total. But only way to do it at this point is to just destroy the 3 stories already built and redo it almost from scratch. Many people would think that this is very counterproductive and would stick those additional pipes wherever they fit just to keep themselves closer to the end of the project. This kind of scenario happens constantly in any kind of software development. This is why developers hate projects with a lot of legacy code. It just means working with solutions that were made with limited information and soon become not exactly what is needed. Then they require to be adjusted in any way possible to fit the new criteria, meaning usually some not preferential compromises. In corporate software development, it usually makes sense to do things as quick as possible now because of the deadlines and limited resources. Refactoring something may take 10 times longer than just doing this single feature in fastest way possible with any needed compromises. But if we're talking 100 different features, they might take 10 times longer compared to starting with a long refactoring. But this is obvious. I want to talk about something different. The effect of this people fail to recognize is how it affects working with the code itself. Obsolete solutions that don't quite fit really affect how we see the whole project. And this is what I think has a big effect on how we work on the project, especially what feelings we have when we do it. If this is something we're passionate about, a project that we really do care about the quality of, constantly noticing the compromises we made along the way has a toll on our mind. We want to have everything as close to perfect as possible. This is why the initial stages are that fun. No problems arose yet. Every decision seems right as far as our projection of the future is concerned. Biggest part of the project is in our imagination, and we just take small steps, all of which seem right. But then the first compromise arises. A thing we did not foresee, but the first non-perfect solution that fixes things in the moment. Probably we don't even see the perfect solution at this point, but we see the one that will work for now, only to later find out why it doesn't really work. Not without the compromises at least. And when we do find out, we are at a crossroads. One way is keeping up progress, implementing the best solution we can find and just keep going forward. The other way is to go back as far as needed and re-implementing that first decision that made that problem appear. Now we have the benefit of having a lot more information and a way bigger chance to make it right. But we might lose a lot of progress, weeks or even months. It might seem like all this time went to waste. We have to actually destroy part of our work, if not all of it. How can this be the right solution? Isn't our goal is to actually finish the damn thing? I would argue that if you can afford it, always do it. Start the whole thing over if you need to. Because if you don't, you will keep that bit of progress, sure, but you pay for it with your excitement and enjoyment about this project. The further you go like this, the more you will have to exert your willpower to keep going. more annoying problems will arise, and at some point you might just give up, thinking that it was too hard for you, it was your capabilities that were not enough, or any similar thought might forever forbid you from working on something similar ever again. And this is all just because our goal-oriented minds. Our culture of results taught us to get things done as fast and productive as possible. We think about shortcuts, about good enough, only to find that fastest way to finish a thing. And when working on it is associated with suffering, no wonder you want to be done with it as fast as you can. Let me suggest a different approach. The priority. Finishing the thing should be a side effect, not the goal itself. Whatever you keep working on will eventually be finished. And the best way to make yourself want to work on a thing as long as possible is to have genuine desire to do so. Enjoying the work should be the priority. The only priority, especially if it's your passion project. Everything else comes as a side effect. The quality can suffer, because nobody really enjoys making shit. Yes, it might take considerably longer, but is it better to finish something mediocre in a year, suffering along the way, or finishing it in 3 years, having tons of fun with it? This mindset is what helps me working on my current game, which comes close to 4 years now without a release, aside from some test builds. I never anticipated it would take this long, but many times by working on it, I discovered a whole new understanding of what I'm actually making and what is the best way to make it. And at those moments, I decided to just rewrite the whole game from scratch. I've done that like 5 times now. And oh boy, it is so fun to start over not making the mistakes I did before. And after all this time, I still enjoy working on my game a lot. And I plan to work on it for many more years. This is why having a true desire to do so is my priority. The way I see those kind of projects is this. The game already exists in some space of perfect forms, where all ideas already exist in their perfect form. The game is already there with perfect architecture, UI design, graphics, all of that. And sometimes I see glimpses of it. My goal is to crystallize the current game to become as close to its perfect form as possible. And when I see that I've diverged from it too much, I become irritated. This irritation is my subconscious telling me to stop and rethink what I'm doing. It's telling me that I've missed a turn, and it's better to go back before I came to a completely different place from what I wanted to. And most people ignore this irritation. Not wanting to lose current progress, they push through it, thinking this is the way, this is how it's supposed to be. I refuse to live in a world where making a big creative project requires you to suffer most of the way and never being completely satisfied with your work. And you should not settle for that either.